Welcome to Larry the Alchemist, and welcome to another edition of No Metal Monday. This is where I get together with you on Mondays to not discuss heavy metal and hard rock. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about Bruce Springsteen and his album Born to Run. This came out in 1975. Kind of cool if you open it up here. Here's a gatefold. I've been meaning to do a video for a while about artists and bands that you can't picture them being from somewhere other than where they are. And I think Bruce Springsteen is a good example of this. This guy is just New Jersey. Maybe he could, if he was from New York, that would be believable too. But definitely the New Jersey, New York thing. You can't picture Bruce being from LA, Germany. You know what I mean? Has this almost, as I was thinking about this today as I was listening to this record, he's almost like a next generation Bob Dylan, and because he kind of has that vibe. He's very down to earth, the blue jeans, the t-shirt. I actually met Bruce Springsteen once back in, when would this have been, like 91, I think it was. The first time I ever went to LA, I was on the Sunset Strip. We went to the Tower Records. I was with a friend. Can't remember if we were walking out or coming in, but either way, Bruce Springsteen was there. He was like walking in while we were walking out, I think it was. And my friend was a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, and he went crazy. And I'm the type of person that I feel uncomfortable like approaching people, but he had no problem, talking to him. He sat there and he talked to us for a few minutes, and then he went in his store, and he had pulled up in a pickup truck. He had jeans on, he had a white t-shirt on, it looked like he had just stepped off the Born in the USA cover. So when I think of Bruce Springsteen, that's what I think of. I think of New Jersey. I think of just this sort of blue collar, down to earth type of guy. I'm not going to say that I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I have sort of a soft spot for this particular album because I've talked about this before, that I had an uncle that gave me a box full of 8-tracks, and this was in there. I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old at the time. So I remember listening to this on 8-track, and this album very much like also sort of brings me back to, although I was too young to remember the 70s, but it just really makes me think of the 70s. And there's a line, I'm going to read it to you later when I get to talking about the song, that I think just encapsulates the whole like 70s Bruce Springsteen thing. Makes me think of like Saturday Night Live, even though I don't remember ever really seeing Bruce on Saturday Night Live. He's just that kind of, his sound to me is just that sort of American radio rock 70s, mid 70s type of thing that I just think he just sort of embodies that really, really well. And this is a good album. There's, I'm not going to say there's nothing heavy on this record at all. That's why this is on No Metal Monday. But there's some really good songs. For instance, the opening track, Thunder Road. Now, I was trying to think of words to describe the feeling that I get when I listen to a lot of Bruce's music. And I came up with 2 words: reflective and nostalgic. And Thunder Road is a great example of that. It has this sort of like looking back, reflecting, being nostalgic kind of vibe to it. It's a little grand, but it's like the way the chords build and everything, but it's done in a very earthy, kind of simple. You could strum these on an acoustic guitar if you wanted to, but there's a lot of nice little piano stuff. And of course, the band, the horns with Clarence Clemens, he was kind of famous in the band. Max Weinberg, drums, all great players on the record. And the stuff is, It comes across as very simple, but when you really listen to it, it's very well produced. And I'm just looking now. This is produced by Bruce Springsteen, John Landau, and Mike Appeal. Produced very, very well. An album that was just made for vinyl, made for the 8-track. I'll say vinyl here. The classic era of vinyl. 10th Avenue Freeze Out. I love that one too. I love the feel on that and just a sort of groove to it. Born to Run is a great anthemic rocker. The final verse in that song, when he's in the night was, Bruce comes in and he's like shouting there at the end. Bruce is never I wouldn't call him a great singer, but he has this kind of Bob Dylan quality to them. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, that I kind of view him as like the next generation Bob Dylan, if you will. She's the one. That's fun. I like the chorus in that one. But here, the last song on the record, Jungle Land, is just fantastic. I mean, Born to Run is great. It's very epic. Again, a song that just builds really, really well. Well written song. Jungle Land is another one too. And there's a line in here that I want to read it to you. That I think just summarizes the whole like Bruce vibe. Barefoot girl sitting on the hood of a Dodge, drinking warm beer in the summer rain, in the soft summer rain. I mean, that's just so much like 1975, girl on a Dodge drinking a beer. I love it, and that's kind of what I find fun about Bruce. Is it something I listen to a lot? No, not really. But when I bust it out, I do have fun with it. So that's why I wanted to include it on here. I don't really have any other Bruce Springsteen albums. I just have this one for the nostalgia from when I had this on 8-track. So, all right, there you go. Anybody else out there like Bruce Springsteen or specifically the Born to Run album? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you keep your eyes and your ears and your mind open.